Yeah. In the vicinity, it's a
Yep.
9-inch shoe.
There's a 58-ish.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Specific
I'll ask.
questions on those, yeah. Because those are pretty.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh, sure.
How are you?
It's okay.
We've got, I think, one more coming in, and there's the shuttle.
Yeah.
Sean has it available?
All right. Well, it is 6:30, so we're going to begin. My name is Dawn Falco. Thank you all for coming this evening. I am the chairperson for the Nassau County Transit Committee, and with me is Mr. Gene Dorso, committee member. And we're going to call this meeting to order. I am filling the shoes of the former chairperson tonight, Mr. Sheldon Schreindel, so bear with me. There are big shoes to fill. And that being said, I just want to confirm with Mr. Dorso that you've received a copy of the agenda for this evening's meeting? Thank you. Okay. That being said, I'd like to introduce at this time Mr. Jack Bazuz, the Nice Plus CEO, who will be giving us a presentation on quarterly review this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Falco, and thank you and Mr. DeRusso for your service. You've been serving the committee for many years, and we very much appreciate your leadership and guidance in ensuring that we stay on path. On behalf of the 1,000 employees that we have here at Nice Bus and the county, I've got a short presentation. This is going to be a somewhat abbreviated meeting. We don't really have any business to conduct at this meeting other than to give an update on what's going on. We just began our fall schedule, or September schedule, which is our busiest time of year for passenger carries. Currently, we are providing about 74,000 trips a day, 40,000 on Saturday and about 25,000 on Sunday. Quite a huge jump from August, about an 8% jump from August. So we are carrying about the same level of passengers we carried pre-COVID. So we're almost at 100% of pre-COVID levels. On the paratransit side, we are well surpassed our pre-COVID levels and are growing ridership quite a bit. So with that, I'll just start the presentation. Again, it's fairly brief. We're going to cover some Rosa Parks HTC upgrades. We've been going through a multi-year, multi-million-dollar upgrade of the center, so we're going to talk about updates there. Talk about the quarterly scorecard, and then just give some service updates and some capital improvement project updates there too. So first and foremost, project updates. Rosa Parks Hempstead Transit Center. The transit center sees about 25,000 people come through there every day. So it's an extremely busy hub. It is the busiest suburban hub in the U.S. And certainly far busier than any other hub in New York, outside of New York City. A few years ago, we started upgrading the center with the support of grants through the federal government and some state grants also, and through the county helping us get it done. We've completed things like rust mitigation, new paint, new poured concrete, various other signing and digital signing upgrades, and now we're kind of working on all the surfaces. So we're coming up on the last part of this multi-year project. It's a very complex project because it involves not affecting traffic coming in and out of there and trying to minimize and mitigate any inconvenience to our passengers. That being said, phase one is now complete and is open to the public. New terrazzo floors were poured in phase one. New wall surfaces, ADA doors, air curtains were installed, and the MetroCard machines were reinstalled, and this weekend they're going to be moved once again so that we can do phase two. So phase two starts, which is happening right now. I labeled them Jackson Street in Columbia. The center, really, we've taken it and cut it in half. and worked on one half at a time. Because these are surfaces, they affect ridership flow throughout the center. So we have to be very cognizant of how we affect ridership. Phase 2 on the Columbia side, the storefront will be closed and revamped. So it is going to be completely redone, but it'll be closed in the temporary stages of it. There'll be a trailer deployed for driver's break room and restrooms. Both the restrooms and the driver break rooms are going to be closed in this phase, so there'll be some inconvenience there. In addition to that, the MetroCard machines will be moved again. They'll be deployed again on Monday, but they'll be moved starting tomorrow. And then additional security and safety measures will be deployed to ensure the safety of everybody that goes through there. Once we're done with this, and we think we're going to be done with it before, let's be conservative. We think we'll be done early spring, let's say February. We will have the center completely updated, every surface touched, restrooms, signing, and everything. So it will be quite a different center than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that sort of thing. So we're pretty proud of the project. Sharon is here, who's helped us. I'm sorry. Pretty proud of the project. Sharon from the county is here, who has helped us manage the project and has helped design the project. So we're pretty proud of the, I think we'll be proud of what we end up with at the end of it, and it'll certainly make the rider experience better. Additionally, on the capital side, coming this spring, we have 41 new Gillig buses coming. They're compressed natural gas, 40-foot buses. So that will retire all the older vehicles that are still in service, but we expect them to come, they'll trickle in between November and mid-spring, probably March. So again, it will update the fleet and give us one of the newest fleets in the country. And we're pretty happy with that. In addition to that, an additional 15 additional paratransit vehicles will be put into service between now and then. So again, just upgrading the fleet continuously to ensure that we get the reliability, safety, and the service that we need out of that fleet. To update everybody, we put in some electric buses earlier this year. They have been out in service, mostly servicing the hub area, mostly on the N16, which is between really Rockville Center and the college. They've been working, knock wood, pretty well. We're learning more and more about them as we go along. So we're excited to have them in service. You'll see the paint scheme a little different than what we have out here. They're predominantly blue with orange accents instead of orange and blue accents. But reliability has been keeping up with the CNG vehicles, so we're pretty happy with how things work out there. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. So now we really go on to service updates. We're very proud of this new service. As you know or may know, we do have, and we were one of the first in the country to deploy an on-demand service earlier this year in the South Shore. We've experimented with on-demand for the last 5 years, and our service and planning team really came out with a great combination about a few years ago, really came upon a formula that really works and deployed it as what we call Nice Mini. It is run out of our paratransit division. It is a smaller vehicle that is deployed along a corridor, and it again services the South Shore between Lynbrook and Freeport right now. It's a small service, but it really works well connecting communities. The idea here is that we connect to larger routes. We connect to railroad stations. We connect shopping areas, human services, education, hospitals, that sort of thing. And instead of a round bubble, we really look at it as more of a cigar shape. So the service is much more efficient. the South Shore service, Mini, when you hail a vehicle, we try to have a vehicle there within 15 minutes, if not sooner. So it's really worked out very, very well. We're providing, I believe, over 100 rides a day now, just on the Mini service in the South Shore. So with that success, we've planned out a new service. This is called Mini, also in Syosset. This is a very interesting model in that we are the first in the country that is commingling paratransit and fixed route on one vehicle. Okay. The platform we use allows us to do that. It's a very robust platform. If you are a certified paratransit customer, you will be prioritized, and ADA rules will follow for you. We will go to your home and take you from address to address. If you're not a paratransit customer, you will be given a coordinate within a few blocks to walk to, and that will allow the bus to be much more efficient. So it understands those two parameters and prioritizes depending on who's hailed the vehicle. In addition to that, this is really a bridge. It allows our residents in the Syosset area who currently do not have Able Ride service to have Able Ride service. So it expands the Able Ride footprint. The thing it does, though, it will take you, if you want to travel, if you're an Able Ride resident or Able Ride customer, and you want to travel south beyond Hicksville, it will take you to Hicksville Railroad Station, and that's where you transfer. You will transfer to another Able Ride vehicle, and we'll coordinate that pickup as we do in the Able Rides system. Transfers are free, just like a transfer to any other fixed route buses. So it's really a cool, innovative way to expand service and maximize the usage of our vehicles and our drivers to perform different functions all in one. So it's literally one of the first in the country that commingles transit this way. We're pretty proud of it. It shot out of the cannon right away, within a few weeks our ridership was up to 50 or 60 requests a day. The way the algorithm works also is if you're out of the service area, the darker blue areas are the service area. If you're out of the service area and you hail a vehicle, it will tell you you're out of the service area. We can't pick you up. But it will also record that hail. And if we see a lot of hails in areas outside the service area, we can literally stretch the service area within an hour. So we can decide, you know what, we're getting a lot of hails at this library just outside. Let's open up the service area. And literally within the next hour or two, the service area will be opened up for those customers. That's a way for us to understand and flex based upon what we know. It allows us, to get service out quickly and then adjust as we need to go. And that gives us some flexibility to go further than we are. This is a great idea. We hope that it will help us perform better on the paratransit side, helps us connect to fixed route better, helps us to connect to Long Island Railroad better, helps us get people to libraries. But we're looking for these libraries and other services, but we're looking for these areas to be densely flagged with trip generators. Okay, so trip generators are what really keeps these services moving. So we just launched it. It's working out very well, and hopefully this will lead to some future innovations as we go forward to increase the service area. So we just started our fall service adjustments. This is a listing of what we have done. We continue to add more service. We continue to add more express service and figuring out ways to get people from A to B quicker, more efficiently, safer. So on the N1, for example, UBS Elmont Long Island Railroad Station destination for events. We've now extended service for Saturday and Sunday. the N16. We've streamlined the alignment through the NCC and did some other things with the express service in both directions. On the N19 in Massapequa, Freeport to Massapequa, again, adjusted the service to better accommodate what's going on in the area. Express trips are now on the N22 that also serves the Westbury Galleria Shopping Center. Additional Saturday and Sunday frequency on the Mineola N23 Manor Haven service. Again, Saturday and Sunday has outperformed Monday through Friday as far as ridership goes. If you travel in Nassau County now on Saturday, we have full buses. And that doesn't happen anywhere really in suburban anywhere. But we have full buses. We're not to the point where we have overfull buses, but we have full buses. So it really speaks to the efficiency. So the N79, we're piloting some express service there. And then the N80 on the Hicksville Massapequa line. The mall, Sunrise Mall, is seeing a redevelopment. So that as a destination is changing a little bit. We're trying some different things there to make that service more efficient, not carrying the amount of people it used to. Again, the mall's getting redeveloped and a lot of it's going away. So we're trying to figure out what to do there, but that may be a transitional period there that we have to understand a little bit more. Community engagement, some big things happened over the last few months. We're talking about all the way back to spring. First and foremost, back to school. We held another school supply drive. I think, Erica, if I'm correct, 2,500 items were donated to United Way for back to school. So the employees really chipped in here. We do that every year. And in the Thanksgiving time and Christmas time, we'll do turkey drives also. So it's a great way for us to connect directly to the community. The big issue that we had this year is we had cricket. Everybody remember that? It seems like 10 years ago, but it was really just this last spring or summer. 10 days we transported 24,000 people. Man, it was we quickly came together with a plan, literally within 3 months, and put this together, and it worked out great. A partnership with Long Island Railroad and the county, but yeah, it surprises 24,000 people. You see a train. We were at Westbury. All of us were there. We were at Westbury, and seeing a train unload 1,000 people, get off, and come down the buses. How do we get them paid and on buses and to the event within an appropriate amount of time was quite an ordeal, quite a problem to solve. But our team in transportation, Erica, safety, paratransit, everybody kind of came up with solutions. And literally we came up with tablets that would, people would be able to tap and go their card on the tablet, get them on the bus. It worked out really, really well. So no issues there. Very, very happy. We're kind of wrapping up here. Our scorecard for the quarter, we've got a running scorecard. We're on Q2 already, or Q2 is already behind us. On-time performance slipped a little bit, and the reason being is because of the cricket matches. We had to pull some buses off regular routes, adjust, and we saw a little bit of hit on our on-time performance, still above our goal. As you can see on Q2, we're 88%. We'd like to be in the 90s, but missed pullouts were a little bit big, a little bit higher, but again, that doesn't mean a bus did not do a trip. It just means it didn't make the 5-minute window to pull out on time. A little higher again. I am happy to report, though, and Todd is here from safety, our safety numbers came in very, very good for the quarter. Quite an improvement from last quarter, so that's very good to see. On the paratransit side, again, call answer ratios went down a little bit, but again, within reason. Not exactly where I wanted to be, but we're a little short on reservationists. We're back in the play right now, and so that shouldn't be a problem. On-time performance suffered a little bit also, again, back to cricket, but we're Inmer's here, our director. I think we're back in the fold there.
What was that?
Inmer,
Okay.
our director of paratransit operations. Missed pullouts, again, were a little higher, but again, that's just an on-time performance issue. We want to get pullout within the 5-minute window. We may have missed a few more, but it's very, very small compared to our total. Accidents were great. Our safety record was very, very good last quarter, and really hit it out of the park. And productivity, again, rose a little bit, and that's about the sweet spot we want to be, about 135 to 145 on the productivity side. After that, it becomes a little bit arduous for our customers. So overall, the quarter was fairly strong for productivity and service overall. So what's coming up ahead, and this is the last slide, I just wanted to give everybody kind of a peek, because between now and the end of the year, it's somewhat of a sprint. We all kind of say that, oh my gosh, it's already the 19th of September, you know, and before we know it, it's Thanksgiving, and then we go into Christmas and the holidays. So in January 2025, we're thinking we're going to complete the Rosa Parks upgrades completely, so we can put that behind us a little bit and just continue to maintain the center. In January also, we are required every 3 years to do a Title VI survey of all our riders, of our rider population. What does that mean? That means that we'll have an outside company coming in starting in January, probably a little earlier than that, and they'll start surveying our riders, and they'll have a questionnaire about where they live, how they identify, how they pay, how often they ride, what they pay with, what's their household income, you know, why do they ride, all those sort of demographic understandings. It really helps us, after we peel through those demographics, to understand changing ridership patterns, changing motivations, and helps us design the system quite a bit. It is a mandated survey that the FTA requires us to do every 3 years. So it's a big project though. It won't be until April or so that we'll have it finished and have it turned into the FTA, but that's coming in. We already talked about new vehicles arriving, so that'll be good to have them in service by spring. Additionally, as we all know, April 2025 will be the start of the new fiscal year, or budget fiscal year. So I'll be giving reports to the board and to the public about how that's coming along. Really, our big driver there is what does the state allocate to bus service here in Nassau County, called State Transportation Operating Assistance Funding. So that's the biggest part of our budget. It's very important that we get that in there. We'll start in Albany literally in October, making sure that they understand our needs and banging the drum for Nassau County to continue on our path of improving, increasing service throughout the period. So we've had a very good run, and we don't want to let that slip at all. In summer, we hope that the Oak Street charging station along our back fence line will be ready. Currently, we're charging the electric buses with little portable rolling chargers. So when they come in at night, they get plugged in. These rolling chargers get plugged in. But we hope by then we will have the permanent charging, secondary charging station in the ground, ready and operating. Each one of those chargers are quite large, and they have 2 charging plugs. They can charge 2 vehicles at one time. They're fast chargers instead of the smaller ones, which take a full 8-hour charge. So we're hoping that that'll be completed. What's holding us up right now is a backlog on ordering those chargers. AB&B, who manufactures the chargers, and Switchgear has a long backlog, and we hope by then we'll be caught up and see what goes on. Lastly, we continue to work toward the Omni implementation. We again are somewhat at the, not somewhat, we are at the depend on the MTA and their contractors to help us get this through. So they are still figuring it out as they go along also, but we hope to have that implementation sometime in 2025. I can't tell you when, because I don't know, but it's moving forward, but it's a slow process, and we hope to have that maybe by the end of 2025. We'll keep our fingers crossed there. But that completes, Ms. Falco, completes my presentation, so thank you.
Mr. Guzman. At this time, I'm going to open the floor for comments and questions first from the committee, of which, of course, I have some. Sorry, I know you're getting ready to sit down. Mr. Guzman, first, I just want to congratulate you for getting through all the challenges that NICE and Transep faced yesterday with all of the activity and street closures going on over at the Coliseum. You got through it. That's all I can say. You got through it. Great job. My first question is, you noted the relocation of the MetroCards kiosks
Yes.
at Rosa Parks. I just want to confirm that they're going to be in an easily accessible area for the public.
So,
If you know where they
for
will
the
be.
transit, unfortunately, so for the transition, tomorrow afternoon will be the last day you can buy the MetroCard until Monday at Rosa Parks.
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday, it will not be available.
Okay.
So it's a challenge.
Is it possible to put out a sorry to cut you off, but is it possible to put out a notification on that?
Yes, so that's what we've already worked on. We've also notified our drivers to please be understanding.
Right.
So there's no other way to work it. We have to work through the MTA to get those things moved. We don't move them ourselves. So they tell us when they can do it, and they tell us when they can put them back. So that we try to have that happen on a Saturday, even a Sunday, and moved, but it wasn't going to happen. So this weekend will be a bit disruptive, but the communication team and the operations team has done what they can to alert everybody. In addition to that, like I said, we're going to try to be as flexible as possible with our
Right.
ridership.
Okay, great. Thank you. Right, just if we can provide a notification,
Yeah.
that would be great. And then this may be going back a little bit, but I was hoping you might touch a little bit on the successes and challenges with the summer service to Jones Beach and the added services for all of their events. How did that go?
It went very well. We started out of the gate like gangbusters because the weather was a little bit more cooperative this year than it was last year. If you remember last year, we had a lot of rain, very early, very cloudy, very overcast. Things this year charged out of the gate very quickly, both on the concert service and the beach service. Where we ended up having some shortfalls on ridership was because of the state not being able to staff lifeguards. So last year and years before, they extended the beach season almost all the way till mid-October. This year, they stopped a lot earlier. So the ridership has dropped off. Also, too, the concerts have been a little bit, Erica, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it's been a little spotty, and I don't know, I'm not a big concert goer.
There's no rhyme or reason
I don't even
to
know.
it as to why some concerts we carry 800 passengers to and from the theater, and some we carry 45. I can't find a pattern, I can't find a trend line, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been like this.
Maybe the younger population, the concerts that attract more of the younger.
Yes and no,
population?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to find a pattern, but
Yeah.
since I don't recognize 99% of the bands that are I can't speak to that. So, but overall, the service went smoothly. You know, we've over years we've made all the mistakes, and now we've obviously corrected them. And the Freeport and Hempstead both services worked out very, very well. It's a great feel-good service. You know, it's a service that doesn't require having to go to work at 6 a.m. and standing at a cold. You know, so we love it. It's just a matter of we're victims of the weather. Just like the air show, you know, sometimes we'll do the air show service and then or we're going to cancel because it's overcast, that kind of thing. But
I'm glad to hear that ridership was decent enough to keep it going.
yes,
Yeah.
oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
That's
yeah,
great,
yeah,
that was really
yeah.
what I was
Yeah.
getting at.
Yeah, that's our commitment to our customers. Again, like I said, that's the one I used to have a boss say, that's your one warm handshake,
Mhm.
you know? So that's, excuse me, that's the way to kind of get it done, so.
So
yeah.
for instance, Long Island Railroad, they canceled the combo ticket that they have with us from the city and the boroughs to Jones Beach because of the cut in lifeguards. However, we are still running daily beach service through September 29th.
Okay. Great. Okay, next question. So I love the idea of expanding the nice mini service. What is the charge, the rider charge on that?
Same, we try to make it as seamless as possible. So you pay $2.90, or if you have a discount card, you pay on the discount card. So it makes it very seamless. That way you get the free transfer to the fixed route system without a problem. If you are a paratransit customer, with door-to-door on the Able Ride side, you pay the Able Ride fee. Which
Is it
$4,
$4?
$4, yeah. So, but again, we're trying to make it easy instead of going, okay, well, this is $3.50, this is $2.90, this is
Right.
$4. So we make it as simple as possible, and we try to make it as seamless as possible. The idea there is to get people, to the larger routes. You know?
Okay.
So if we can get them there, and then they can take the bigger bus wherever they need to go, then that works out really well.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Mrs. George, so, any questions or comments?
Okay, those guys have been amazing from the beginning. All I keep on giving them, and they make it easy for me. A+, A+, A+. Because I have been here from, since you guys started.
Yeah.
One question about the Rosa Park upgrade. Anything in the blueprint for solar panel, something like that?
Well, we've been talking about how we do that. Currently, the technology to charge large buses with solar panels isn't there yet.
Okay.
But doesn't mean that we can't put solar panels on this lot to charge our non-revenue vehicles or supervisor vehicles and/or the building. So we're talking about that with the county on how we make this building a green neutral building or be able to provide service back to the provider, selling service back. So those are the two avenues we're looking at. On the paratransit side, there may be opportunities there. There isn't a electric paratransit vehicle currently, but we think that technology will change also. So those are things that we're exploring. Obviously, the infrastructure of this building is older and needs some upgrades to be able to do that. But with the power stations that we're installing for the larger buses, that allows us to understand a little bit the infrastructure that needs to be put in.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you both. Anything else, Mr.
No,
George?
no.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'm going to open up the floor to public comments and questions. I'm just going to ask that it be done in somewhat of an orderly fashion. If you'll raise your hand, I'll point at you, and if you could please very clearly state your name, where you are from, and then we're going to be limiting you to 2 minutes. for your question. Yes, Mr. Buffett. Please state your name and where you are from before you begin.
Yes,
We
Joe
will not-
Torcivia, Levittown, along the N49, Torcivia. Okay. Now, in honor of our new committee chairperson, Dawn, I'm going to make this my shortest comment speech ever. Very encouraged to see new express service popping up, especially in places that suffered previous cuts, but I wonder how it's doing. Assuming that people that have had years of reduced or no bus service do not regularly visit the website, as some of us nutty people do, how are they made aware of it? There's never even been a bus on most of Sunrise Highway, for instance. On express service, one thing I suggested previously but could become more of a possibility now is extending the N6 Express eastward on Hempstead Turnpike to East Meadow, Levittown, or even Bethpage. a straight one-seat ride to connect with the subway, and eliminating the delay of detouring into Rosa Parks Hempstead Transit Center could be an attractive thing that could carry more than the currently implemented express items might. I would definitely transfer to it from the N49. Finally, the 90-minute gap on the N49 on Saturday really ought to be reduced to a reasonable hourly schedule. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vassilio, appreciate it. Anyone else? Yes, sir, please state your name and where you are from.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Salvatore Davi. I'm a new paratransit customer. This is my first meeting, and I currently reside in Greenville. Currently, as far as I know, there is no weekend bus service for the N27 bus route. Would it be possible for NICE to modify the N21, in particular to serve Greenville Station, Long Island Railroad customers, as well as provide weekend bus service to residents of Greenville and Old Brookville near Glen Cove Road? Preferably a route change from Roslyn Clock Tower to Bryant Avenue and Glenwood Road, continuing on Bryant Avenue to Plaza Road, where the Greenville station is, onwards to Glen Cove Avenue, returning back to Glenwood Road via Scudder's Lane. Another possibility would be to include certain bus intervals to meet the Greenville station, both east and westbound intervals from Plaza Road. Greenville Station currently runs on a 2-hour interval on weekends from 9:18 a.m. to 11:18 p.m. westbound, and with an earlier additional trip at 5:51 in the morning. Eastbound from 8:17 a.m. to 8:17 p.m. with the last interval at 11:17 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Davi. I have a quick question for
Sure.
you or Mr. Kazouz. What is the closest bus to the Greenville station currently? Because I do not know the
The
answer to that.
N27.
N27? And
Right.
how far is that from
They
the
don't,
station?
they don't have weekends.
I know that,
Okay.
I heard that they don't have the weekend service,
I-
but during the week, how close is it to the station?
It's maybe about a block away. I just have
One
to,
block?
yeah, I'd have to cross the street.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Davi.
Sure.
I'll take that under advisement. Is there anyone else that has any comments or questions?
I
Yes, sir.
wanted to make a comment.
Please
You
state
can
your,
do the podium
sir,
or-
you sure, you're welcome to, but
Okay.
I'm just gonna ask that you state your name and where you're from first.
Sure, so I'm the president of Passengers United. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. My name is Charlton D'Souza.
Can you please spell that for us, stenographer?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. It's CHARLTON and then D'Souza, DSOUZA.
Charlton D'Souza.
Yeah. Overall, we're very impressed with Nice Bus, but there are some concerns. One thing we noticed, the summer service was much better with the newer buses. We saw very few breakdowns, which was good. However, we're very concerned about the late night service on the N6.
N6?
Because when events are getting out of UBS Arena, and you only have 3 of the buses running, and you have the N6 buses running on 20-minute headways, and let's say if a bus does break down or stuck in traffic, we're seeing very dangerous levels of crowding on the N6. And it's not safe for the driver, because if the driver has to apply his brakes or whatever, you know, people are hitting each other and bumping into each other. So maybe, I think on events, on nights where events are taking place at UBS Arena, maybe you guys should run the articulated buses at night. I don't know if that's a possibility, if that could be done, but that would help with some of the crowds and adjustments, and also better coordination with your road operations. Because sometimes Jamaica Avenue is closed, as we saw last week because of the road work, and the buses were lost. Literally, there was no coordination. Buses were just going down Springfield, they were trying to go down other streets, so that has to be worked out. In terms of the express buses, I was just on the N22X, and I only saw 5 or 6 people from Jamaica. So maybe you'll need to look at, maybe working it out where maybe the express makes 3 more additional stops, so it can accommodate more people. And that's the concern we're getting from some of our members with the express service, that it's not picking up enough people. So what is the cost of that with the local service? Well, the local service is getting very crowded, so I guess, the nice bus team will figure that out. Yep.
Yes, I have a question, Mr. Visuti. When you noted your issues with the UBS Arena bus service, do you think that that's more of a traffic control issue with the crowds? I mean, you're talking about tens of thousands of people coming out at once. Or do you really believe that that's a nice bus issue?
So
I mean,
it's,
I've been there to see it,
Well,
so
it's a
that's why I'm
combination of
curious what
both,
your position is.
but because the arena's in Nassau County,
Mhm.
and the bus shelter, the way it's positioned, it's, a lot of people gravitate towards the Nassau side, obviously, because they don't wanna take the city bus, they wanna take NICE, because it goes express in Queens. And so what's happening is we're seeing the westbound service heavy ridership at night. And sometimes the bus comes every 20 minutes after like 8 o'clock, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. And so that's messing the bus going back eastbound, because now the bus is late. And sometimes, very rarely, I've seen two buses bunched together, but that has to be looked at. Maybe y'all should have more service. Maybe I think have an Arctic running, and that'll solve that problem, because at least everyone will be able to get on. Sometimes you can't even get on the N6.
Right,
And you gotta wait
Well,
20
I'm sorry, we
minutes.
have passed the time, I realize part
I
of it's my fault,
apologize.
because I asked more questions,
Yeah.
but, have you had an opportunity to hear some of your concerns in writing by any chance, that you would be willing to submit?
Oh, yes,
Or
I
would you
will
be
submit
willing
it
to
to
do
Erica.
that?
Yeah.
Oh,
And the
okay,
nice
great.
bus team.
All right,
Yeah.
thank
I'll
you,
just have
Mr.
conversations with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
great, thank you
Yeah,
so much.
thank you. Yeah,
Thank
sorry
you,
about
Mr.
that. Yeah.
Susan. No, I appreciate it, thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that wishes to make a comment or ask any questions? Yes,
My name is Rajwant Kaur
I'm
and I'm
sorry,
from.
could you just spell that before you say?
It's RAJWANT and last name is Kaur, KAUR. And I'm from Hampstead.
Thank you, Ms. Carroll.
I just have this question that is there any discounts for old age people or the students? Because they're always out of cash or always out of money, so is there any kind of, do you guys have discounts for them?
So we offer a senior discount for riders that are 65 years or older, and a disabled discount for qualified individuals, and we have various levels of how you can qualify, whether or not you have a Medicare card or a Medicaid card, a Nassau County disability card, an Able-Right membership, or any other type of recognized disability proof. And so that discounted fare is $1.45. Children 44 inches or shorter ride free. And then our student discount, the way we define students are high school aged and younger. College students are not eligible for our student fare. So for high school aged and younger students, we provide a student discount of $2.25. That is good for rides to and from school only. So it is only valid from Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. It is not valid on the weekends or holidays, because it is designed to help kids get to and from school only. And that fare is $2.25.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments from the public?
I believe you were asking me about the distance between the
Yes.
station. So that was for the,
From Greenvale to the,
so they have a bus stop at Helen Street, and that.
what street is that?
Helen, yes, and that is going in the direction of Hempstead. But on the other side, going towards Glen Cove.
the other
there's
side of what? The other side of Helen Street?
the other side of Back Road.
The other side of
Back Road.
Mm-hmm.
And Glen Cove Avenue, there is no bus stop at the station, the Greenvale station, heading towards the Hempstead direction.
Okay. any other questions or comments from the public at this time?
I got one.
Yes?
Okay, Alexander Hall.
H-A-L-L?
Hotel.
Would you just spell your name, please?
Hotel Oscar, only 2 letters, from Farmingdale. Mr. CEO, you had mentioned that the Metro Card machine is going to be out of service this weekend. Will the notification be sent also via your social media channels?
And the
Yes.
answer is yes.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right. Also, as an aside, where else in Nassau County can Metro cards be refilled besides the Metro card station?
Yes. Erica? we could
That's a $1
probably-
million question. You know, the MTA's been phasing out the Metro card because they've
Correct.
invested so heavily into the Omni system.
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, there weren't a lot of places in Nassau County to buy it 12 years ago.
But
So,
refilling it specifically.
well, I don't even know that they're doing that anymore, to be honest with you. They have ended the, I believe it was called Easy Pay, refillable online system. And they've discontinued that. And I honestly, I don't know, I should know, but, I'll do research on that, but that would be really an MTA question.
Got it. I'm going to
So-
assume that the Hempstead Transit Center is the only place in this.
Yeah, and you may be able to do it at Long Island Railroad stations, and Long Island Railroad stations do sell Metro cards. However, I believe the lowest denomination you can buy them in is $20.
I found it.
Can you
That's
send
the
me,
buy
can
one.
you
Yeah,
email
But
me
not
that
the
one?
refill, because that's the, that
Oh.
was my
Well,
question
I'll
was the
take a look,
refill.
I'll do that.
It also has the retail store locations, and, I mean, to fill it.
I don't know, I'm not gonna look at the volumes, I already have, I already have 4
That's
messages.
big.
Okay, one at a
They just sell
time,
them.
please, one at a time. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
I'm done.
Thank you,
Yeah.
so we'll share that information with you. Are there any other new comments or questions that we haven't addressed at this time? All right, well, that being said, I'm just going to ask Mr. Durso if you have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yes, I said it.
Okay, we'll make a motion and I'll second. Thank you so much. All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming down. I really appreciate you making the effort
Thank you.
and for your participation and commentary, as well as your. They changed the speaker for these, but I was.
Yes, and then
You're not doing
cell phone,
Oh, my